Welcome back. I'm playing Warhammer 40,000 Battlesector, and today I'm going to finish off the reviews of the new units that the Adepta Sororitas gained access to through the Deeds of the Fallen DLC campaign that was recently released with the Skulls Festival. This unit is called the Zephyrim, I think is how you say it. But first, before I start reviewing them, if you're enjoying these videos, please give my channel a like and subscribe to encourage me to post more content for you. So the Zephyrim are 85 points for their unit, so they're a little more expensive. Each model has 55 health, and as you can see, there's 5 models per squad, 1 action point, 4 movement, 4 armor, and 15 evasion. Now, effectively, what these ladies are Seraphim, but instead of having a ranged weapon loadout, they carry power swords. Now, they still do have the bolt pistol, but the bolt pistol, for the most part, is a pretty weak weapon. So really, you're getting a highly mobile melee force, pretty comparable to, say, the Assault Marines, just with a little less armor and HP here for slightly more cost. So if you were going to use their regular bolt pistol, each model has 5 attacks doing 3 to 4 base damage with an armor piercing of 1, so only good against attacking the most unarmored of targets. It has a range of 1 to 3, but has the optimal range of 1. Because it is a bolt pistol, that means if anybody's charging through here to attack them, they will get some reaction fire. Or if they were trying to move out of your zone of control, you'll then attack them with the power swords. If you are going to attack with the bolt pistol, you'll likely want to load it with the blessed ammo, which gives you plus 50% range damage and decreases the graze chance by 10. It only lasts for 1 turn, and you have 2 ammunition. If you empower the ability, you will get 3 additional ammo and increase your damage, but I don't see why you would want to do that necessarily on the Zephyrim, because these are not meant to be ranged damage dealers. Again, their claim to fame is the power swords here. And so each model has 1 attack doing 26 to 35 damage, armor piercing of 7, and they have a 100% hit chance. So really what you're going to want to be doing with these ladies here is activating their Seraphim wings, which are the jetpacks that the Adepta Sororitas use, and that'll get you plus 2 movement. So now you'll have 6 movement, but when you activate this ability, it also activates Grace, which now increases your ranged accuracy by 10, so it'd bring your base accuracy up to 100% for the bolt pistol. But again, you really aren't going to be using these ladies for bolters, but more importantly, it increases the evasion by 10, so now they have 25 evasion. So if you end up popping smoke, which gives you plus 15 evasion, now all of a sudden you can see how these ladies can actually be surprisingly durable, because you're having 25 at the base plus another 15, which brings you up to 40 evasion, plus as they're gaining momentum with kills or taking damage, that's going to increase their evasion even further. So the other thing that you have access to is you have something called a Righteous Aura. And what this allows you to do is do a charge attack with these ladies, and while you're doing your charge attack, it gives you an additional 10% melee accuracy and 10% critical hit chance. So that's how you can make these ladies really do some pretty good damage against vehicles and things, especially if you can move them into a position where you can get rear attacks or just lock down ranged units that are trying to escape you, like Ludas or Flash Gits, enemy heroes, because with all that armor piercing, you should be able to do good damage to help you snipe those guys out, or death marks that are maybe warp gated away from your other units, and you can close the distance. Now, you can also buff their armor with their passive ability being Shield of Faith, just like all the Adepta Sororitas units. They get access to this ability, so every weapon attack that they get hit by will give them 1 Shield of Faith. So if you know, that's per attack round. So if somebody attacks you with 20 bolters and 20 bolter shots hit, you're not going to get all 3 stacks. It'll just be for 1 round. But just be aware that if they use a grenade on you, that is not a weapon attack, that's an ability, so it will not give you a shield of faith if you do that. But for every shield of faith stack that you get up to 3, you'll increase their range and melee armor by 0.6. So at 3 stacks, that'll get you 1.8 armor. And then you can end up converting those shields of faith into momentum using the divine inspiration. And that's an all or one ability here. So if you have 3 stacks and you want to get 30 momentum, you click this, and that'd be 10 momentum per stack. If you only had 1 stack, that'd be 10 momentum. So that's how that ability works. And then the blessed ammo here, like we had already discussed. So these can definitely be an interesting use if you're on a map that has a lot of difficult terrain to cross, like the bridges. I could see these ladies being very powerful because it can be hard for using Rhino transports and other units to close those distances. It can also be nice if you want to use these to run around and capture a point, but you don't want it to necessarily be one of your Seraphim because you want to save their Seraphim wing ability to help you close the distance on higher tier units, where you may not mind as much if the Seraphim aren't, because they'll have this charge ability that will help them buff themselves, and it may not be as imperative for them to get into the right exact positioning that the Seraphim would be more important, especially if you're doing an Infernal pistol build, since that has a pretty dramatic accuracy fall off if you're not at that optimal range here. So definitely I think can be a fun unit. We'll play around with it. I'm actually going to do kind of a variation of the Jump Boy build for the Blood Angels here, but instead I'm going to have Seraphims and Seraphims for the Adepta Sororitas here. And then you can buff them using your Sister Superior here. Just remember, you can increase melee damage by 15% using the Battle Sermon here. You can also give them double attacks if you give them the Rites of Intercession, but I still think it would make more sense for you to want to do that on the Infernal pistols if you can get them into range, because they'll have more damage potential than the power swords will. And then you can also give them some damage reduction by giving them 10% bonus health and minus 10% damage received using the Medicus Menastorm. And if you wanted to double buff them, you could also give them 30 momentum and 15% additional HP using the Litany of Devotion. And then don't forget, with your command point abilities, you can increase the crit chance, you can increase movement, or you can increase the armor piercing by 1 and the damage by 15%. So now you can see, you know, increasing this damage, if you have all these buffs stacked up, you're getting 30% plus an additional 10% critical hit chance if you're using the Righteous Aura and things like that. So it can really allow these guys to do surprising amounts of damage for you if you can set them up correctly here. So let's set up a random skirmish and see what the empowered abilities can do for us. We're going to be playing on the Imperial Ruins just to get the fastest engagement possible. And we will set this as the Adepta Sororitas, our tester. And we did Necrons last time. I don't really want to do necessarily a mirror match, but I suppose we can, and just see what the opponents will do here, will do for us. But could be a little bit difficult because mostly the AI likes to do a heavy flamer build with the Adepta Sororitas, and that could actually hard counter our Seraphim and Seraphim build here, because that 100% hit chance with the flamer nullifies our evasion bonuses that we're going for. Actually, we can move you to there. Let's get you here. And that looks pretty decent. And then again, make sure we change our HQ unit to the Hospitaller.
I walk in his light.
And we're just kind of moving all of our guys up here.
Who needs my aid?
As he wills it. His presence within makes us indomitable.
Alright, get
Where
you to the
we lead,
front.
his light will follow.
Oh, you're not going to be able to get to the front. You can, though.
The skies are our domain.
Move you up to here, and then move you over to there.
By his hand.
Rhino ready.
His presence within makes us indomitable.
And then we'll just move
Tanks
you
engaged.
up to here.
Immediately. Forward vector covered.
He tells us where they hide.
Now, you wouldn't normally want to do something like this on an actual multiplayer match. I'm just trying to, again, get into combat as fast as possible.
Suffer not the heretic.
Where we lead, his light will follow.
For Catherine. For eternity.
Into battle!
Alright, let's pop your smoke, because they're probably going to be shooting into us on this first turn.
I seek his light.
In fact, maybe we just move you up
His
one.
presence within makes us indomitable. We are the God Emperor's fiery blade. Where
To
we
try to
lead,
get you
his
where I need
light
you to
will
be.
follow.
Come near me, and the Emperor will smite you.
Heretics surround us.
Yeah, the AI really struggles with how to use the Adepta Sororitas because of all their abilities, so you can hear them popping all their blessed ammo here, but they're not even going to necessarily get attacks this turn. Looks like they got Dominions.
Evasive maneuvers.
Castigator over there.
He tells us where they hide.
I am the Imperium's shield.
Hand Flamer. Bolter. Arcoflagellants.
The skies are our domain.
Alright, so if I charge here, you can see they have the hand flamers, so they would attack me if I did that. So you can use this ability, but you don't have to necessarily be flying for it to go off.
We are the God Emperor's fiery blade.
Emperor, watch me.
So flame these guys down like that. And then I'm going to bring you up to here.
I am his iron will.
Immediately.
Move these guys
Try and
over.
stop me.
Go forth.
Buff everybody's health.
You are his will made flesh.
Move you up to here. Let you attack
For
here.
the glory of the God Emperor.
And kill those guys. And then we're going to pull you back. Yeah, see, we got Sisters of Repentia and everything over here. So we got to be a little bit careful with how we move these
Where
guys.
to next?
Yeah, we got Repentia over there too. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess we can do that and see if we can aggro them into attacking us.
Where we lead, his light will follow.
Yeah, so you do have to have some movement
We shall
in
not be
order
felled by
to
this pitiful attack.
initiate the charge attack, which makes sense.
We shall not be felled by this pitiful attack.
The skies are our domain.
But you can see how far they can do their charge. With the wings activated. They can go all the way over to there if you wanted to.
On sacred wings. Where we lead, his light will follow. His presence within makes us indomitable.
I will not fail.
Alright, let you shoot into the hospital here.
Purge the unclean!
Ooh, that was a bad idea actually, because now they're going to be able to come over
In
here
every shadow I find heresy.
and attack
Suffering is
our penitent
our
engine.
breath.
I will not fail.
Now, do any of these guys have flamers? No, it's mostly bolters, it looks like.
For Catherine, for eternity. I walk in his light. You will have to try
Oh,
harder
are you kidding
than
me?
that.
Did you really just whiff that?
My blade will mete out his mighty judgment.
I am shocked that that just happened.
Where to next?
Yes? With haste.
No room for doubt.
Into battle! Destroy them and move swiftly onwards.
We are the God Emperor's fiery blade.
Oops, somebody hasn't attacked, I guess. Alright, who the hell else? You haven't done your thing? What the hell? Oh, you're still here. Alright, well if that's the case, let's just move you up one, move you to here. Buff here. And buff there.
His presence within makes us indomitable.
That's fine, just make it so the...
Suffering is our
Oh, interesting, they're charging through, huh? I'm surprised they did that because of all that infernal pistol attacks.
Evasive maneuvers.
Alright, so they're all jam-packed up here. If I flame... Yeah, there's no way for me to set up, three-way flame, unfortunately.
Emperor!
You just barely survived. So let's set you up here.
Is that all you've
Flame
got?
there. And we can move you over to here. Surge, flame again. Kill all these guys. Move you down to here. Lock down the castigator, but he'll likely just,
The road of righteousness is soaked
likely
in the
just kill
blood of
you,
the
which is
unworthy.
fine. Move you up to here. And have you lock down the castigator tank here. So now you'll have two guys that he'll have to cut through if he wants to do something here. Now we've got this situation. Which one was the Seraphim that I was feeding experience to?
In every shadow I find heresy.
Transport awaiting command.
Yeah, see, here's the problem is Not a lot of these guys give you a ton of momentum for the kills. They repent should give you a 5.
I am the vanguard of the faith. Where to next?
I guess let's move you over to here. Let you start shooting into these guys.
Axe engaged. Try and stop me.
Oh, interesting. Well, I guess they don't have a zone of control because they're flying. Alright, well, let's move you up to here. Let's get you double attacks.
His presence within makes us indomitable.
If I were to fly you and get over here... Okay, I'd have to kill these Seraphim to stop them from attacking you.
We are the God Emperor's fiery blade.
Well, let's just move you up. Oh my god, he's a flamer. I did not appreciate that he had the flame.
Rhino ready.
Alright, well, just kill these guys, please.
We've been intercepted.
Alright, well,
His presence within makes us indomitable.
and with that, we'll move you to here. Let's get you over to here. Buff everybody's damage.
No place in our heart, sisters, for the Emperor watches over
Get you
us.
some increased momentum. Alright, start cutting down these guys, I guess. No, that's a waste of your abilities.
We are the God Emperor's fiery blade.
Alright, do that. Attack here.
Each bolt refutes your right to live. We are his will manifest.
Now, if you charge here, you should be able to get double attacks.
From the throats of for it is spoken.
Okay. And you can attack again.
Before the glory of the God Emperor.
Ah, not quite enough.
Air support.
Run you over to here, and again, lock down that castigator.
I am the Imperium's shield. Purge the unclean!
Get you over here. I was kind of hoping you were going to drop that Repentia there.
Who needs my aid?
Now, if I run you up to here, you could heal those guys. Let's move you over to here, have you attack these Retributors.
Through pain we seek retribution.
Transport awaiting command.
Alright, here's what we'll do. We'll move you to here. No, we'll move you to here. We're gonna unload Dominions here.
As he wills
And
it.
unload Dominions here.
As he
And you can
wills
flame
it.
here.
What is your command?
You can flame through here.
We are the God Emperor's fiery
We
blade.
can move down to there.
Yes. With
Get you to
haste.
here. What I should have done is tried to move you through, because if you would have moved through, you
For
would have got a
Catherine.
bonus attack.
For
So let's see if I
eternity.
do this. They'll hit you now. Good. That'll get you enough momentum where now you'll be able to attack. So we'll move you back. Surge, and now you can attack here.
Glory in his name.
And start working those guys down. So they should hopefully do less damage to my Zephyrim who are here.
By his hand. The enemy awaits.
My faith is strong.
His presence within makes us indomitable.
I mean, I guess I can give you... Well,
We are the God Emperor's
I don't know if I
fiery
want
blade.
to... Well, yeah, maybe I do. I was just debating about whether I wanted them to actually kill these guys, but I don't want the Retributors to come over and start shooting into these Zephyrim.
We are his will manifest.
I seek his light.
No room
Alright, let's
for
do
doubt.
something like that, and hopefully that'll aggro
The
some
Emperor's
attacks.
light burns bright.
Being intercepted.
Very good.
None can harm me whilst I walk
All right.
with the Emperor.
See, all that evasion is really paying off for him here.
Laceration is penance.
Alright, so let's take a look here. So if we empower their abilities, if you give them Seraphim Wings, that'll give them +4 movement, and you'll have a 3-turn cooldown, and they'll be able to fly for an additional turn, so that's very nice. If you give them the Righteous Aura, that gives them +15% melee accuracy, 15% crit chance, and the cooldown goes down to 2 turns. And you can see how far these Seraphim can charge across the map, so that can allow you to cross really significant distances to help you capture command points, things like that, especially if somebody's trying to body block it with some infantry. If you try to empower the Divine Inspiration, this has now been changed where you will have +12 momentums per stack, and it gives 5 momentum to all adjacent units within 1 square, so that's very nice. And then the Blessed Ammunition, if it's empowered, is the same as every other Blessed Ammunition. It increases the range damage up to 60% instead of 50. The Graze goes up to 15 instead of 10. You will have a 2-turn cooldown instead of 3, and it'll give you 3 additional ammunition to your stockpile. So originally it has 2 out of 2, but if you use this, it'll go up to 2 out of 5, and that will allow you to have significant buffs there. So all very beneficial abilities
I
here.
am his iron will.
Alright, we're just going to have her come over and
My
kill
blade
these
will
heavily
beat out
armored
his
units
mighty
here.
judgment.
Actually, I don't think the Castigator tank even fired, did it?
Take them down.
We have been targeted.
Well, let's just sacrifice yourself to blow up the tank. Oh my gosh, you couldn't do it.
The skies are our domain.
Well, I guess we'll just get you over to here.
Air support.
Have you run through, because that'll be less damage than a tank
The
blowing
road
up
of
in your
righteousness
face.
is soaked in the blood of the unworthy. Purge the unclean!
Try and stop me. I am the vanguard of the faith.
Alright, so you're there.
His presence within makes us indomitable.
Well, let's move you around here. Surge, attack here.
His wrath,
Get a
his
kill there.
fury.
Move you over to here. Attack the Dominions. Let you empower and just attack here. Show them who's boss.
We are the God Emperor's fiery
1,
blade.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can't get anywhere, so we'll just run you around the side. These guys can come flame
Be
here.
purified by his light.
For Catherine. For eternity.
Where we lead, his light
Come over
will
here,
follow.
start meleeing those guys down. Can heal here. And just start shooting each one of these sisters.
Suffering for him is an honor.
If you say so.
Where to next? Take them down.
Suffering for him is an honor.
I am his iron will.
I think that's actually the last
His presence within makes us
unit here.
indomitable.
So we'll charge. Oh, we can't charge away because it's blocking, because you can't actually have an open tile there. Well, go ahead and shoot here, I guess.
Each bolt refutes your right to live.
Oh, I forgot about those guys over there.
For Catherine. For eternity.
Well, that's a little
Who
embarrassing.
needs my aid? With haste.
What is your command?
I walk in his light.
Emperor, watch me.
Alright, let's do something like that. Who else hasn't attacked?
We are the God Emperor's fiery blade.
Yes?
Oh, got a rhino over here too.
I am his iron will.
Emperor, watch me.
Yeah, I should have just
I
flamed
walk
them.
in his light.
So, as you can see, they have significant damage potential and a lot of mobility for you, especially with those charge attacks. You just got to be very careful that you're not activating a bunch of reaction fire when they're flying in, because they are pretty squishy. But especially if you can get their momentum gains going and start buffing all those evasion, especially if you stack up the Rhino smoke screens and the evasion buffs that they're getting with the momentum that they're getting, plus giving them some bonus HP and damage reductions with like the Medicus Ministorum, you can make them be extremely tanky. Now, I typically would hands down prefer the Seraphim with the Infernal Pistol, so for slightly more cost, I will definitely go with them over the Seraphim any day of the week. But again, the Sisters tend to struggle quite heavily on matches where there's a lot of difficult terrain, but now that they have double the amount of jump troops that they have access to, I think it makes them extremely competitive on those matches where there's a lot of difficult terrain that you need to cover. Say the HQ mission for the Tyranids. This would allow them to fly around the map to help you if you're playing a siege map or siege of command, you know, the bridges, any other map where there's a lot of difficult terrain that you'll want to fly around to. And it also increases their survivability, so they can do hit and run, lock units down, and then jump away and get healed back up. The big thing is you just need to be very, very cautious around any sort of flamers, because they will blow those ladies out of the sky with no difficulty. So just be very, very cautious in those situations. So with that, I'm going to call it quits here for the day. I hope you're enjoying these videos. If you are, please give my channel a like and subscribe. It encourages me to post more content for you. Have a great day.